Hi, everyone, Congress, Supreme Court, everyone else whose ass I have to kiss for formality's sake. The nice folks who control my teleprompter are apparently not here, and I have to get through this somehow. Anyway, Speaker McCarthy, I hope you don't mind if I give a tacit admission of you being controlled opposition by saying that I look forward to screwing over the American people with you. We may be from different parties, but they are pretty much the same anyway. You know the saying about elephants and asses screwing the masses. I have to give props to Hakeem Jeffries, though, so young, yet you kissed enough ass to get within hair's breadth of becoming Speaker. It will be your turn soon, Junior. Just keep doing the work of the duopoly, and you will get in and maybe serve as long as Pelosi. Speaking of serving long, we are also joined today by Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving whatamacolate in the Senate. Our system is broken, and there's not a damn thing any of you peons can do about it. 2 years ago, the economy went to shit because COVID, or at least that is what I was supposed to tell you tonight. But at this point, even the most ardent Branch Covidian knows deep down that it was the lockdowns. We all came together to do what we always do, which is throw money at the problem and get some sweet, sweet graft on the side. The COVID relief is a hell of a gravy train, almost as much as the one we got going on in Ukraine. Blah, 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 something, something, something. Bipartisanship is good, something, something coming together. You know, the bullshit talking points about how bending over and doing the dupolies bidding without question is virtuous by now. All of our irresponsible spending, borrowing, and money printing caused rampant inflation, but we just blame it on Trump, Putin, or some other convenient scapegoat instead. And even if you don't fall for it, we just pull a 2020. We do this all while gaslighting you into think that not only is everything fine, but in fact better than ever, such as claiming that unemployment is at a 50-year low, or that inflation is actually going down by cherry-picking prices, going down on certain items while ignoring the long-term trend of America effectively turning into Zimbabwe. This is the part of the speech where I have to mention Made in America because a certain orange man kind of made it necessary to talk about. But let's be real here, the cheap Chinese labor is way too good to pass up. We should, of course, continue to raise taxes because you, the taxpayers, just aren't getting railed hard enough. Though we will coax it with meaningless talking points about the rich paying their fair share while counting on most Americans to either not pay attention or have zero understanding of basic economics. I am seriously bragging right now about how the debt ceiling was raised 3 times while openly lying about Republicans attempting to cut Social Security and Medicare to frighten my base. I throw in a few platitudes about junk fees I may or may not act on, and if I do, may cause certain consequences. But hey, as long as you fall for it while talking about education being the ticket to middle class, while kissing the ass of the teachers' unions by promising to pay teachers more, despite the fact that so many of them are Marxist pedophiles. But hey, the teachers' unions are part of the old gravy train, and brainwashing and sexualizing children is part and parcel of controlling the public and reducing the population. You peons are much easier to control where there are fewer of you after all. We have supposedly broken the COVID grip, and I promise to end the COVID emergency, or at least pretend to, while holding on to the power I have unconstitutionally been given. What year was the Patriot Act repealed again? Oh, wait, never. But of course I made some time in my speech to race bait about a police brutality incident that had jack shit to do with race. Tyre Nichols was a spin of sorts on the black-on-black crime common in the big cities the Democrats have turned into third-world shitholes with socialism. What happened to him was horrible. If only the cops that killed him were white. That would make the race baiting easier to sell here, but I am trying anyway. Never mind the fact that my entire political career was spent locking people up for victimless crimes while protecting my crackhead son from any and all legal consequences, as well as my years of making racist statements. What do I say? Politics is a jungle, a racial jungle. I cynically exploit other shootings and promise that banning so-called assault weapons will solve the issue while ignoring the fact they are already banned in one of the states that I used as an example. But I couldn't let facts get in the way of fear-mongering and control over the public. Of course, grabbing guns doesn't work as advertised, but it was never designed to work. It was designed to control and enslave. Speaking of control, I want to completely contradict my prior faux condemnation of police brutality by advocating from something that is sure to lead to even more police brutality, and that is continuing the drug war. Fentanyl is indeed dangerous and is killing people, but so is all that cocaine the CIA has been trafficking for decades. My son has pretty much been enjoying the cheap version, though, and fentanyl deaths are peanuts compared to the multitude of deaths from prescription drugs and a certain shot I tried to force American workers to take by executive decree like I am some goddamn dictator. Populist Republicans say that fentanyl is my fault for not securing the border, but the joke is on them, as the drug problem has only gotten worse since Nixon declared the drug war. An orange man wants to double down even further than I do by putting drug dealers to death with a quick trial. You would think Democrats would seize on that. But since we also get money from the prison industrial complex, the best we can do is semi-legalize yet tax the ever-loving crap out of marijuana and ban certain tobacco products. We haven't learned a thing from the failure of prohibition. The border is wide open, but I'm going to just pretend that illegal immigration is down, admitting that wouldn't look too good. What does look good, at least to the degenerates in my base, is my promise to protect and encourage taxpayer-funded abortion up to birth, and perhaps a tad after. Roe could have been codified decades ago, but we had to use it as a wedge issue, you understand. And now that Roe is gone, we will push it through in the most extreme way possible. Moloch needs his child sacrifices after all, and Planned Parenthood is a rather convenient altar. We will just call it reproductive health care and say you are being sexist and backward if you question the far left's worship of abortion. Speaking of death, this is the part of the speech where I talk tough. I practiced all these lines after one of my aides changed my shitty diaper after my 5th accident that day. We are standing with Ukraine and NATO and starting World War III to protect my money laundering operation in Ukraine, and because Zelensky has got the goods on me. You don't get your crackhead son a job at a Ukrainian oil company without a little something in exchange. But hey, we are protecting democracy, right? Just like we did in an election so crooked that it made even 1876 look honest by comparison. Instead of admitting it and resigning, though, I am just going to gaslight you about how anyone that questions that is a traitor that is part of a coup to overturn democracy in America, while ignoring the historical reality that America is supposed to be a constitutional republic and not a democracy. Democrats didn't give a damn about actual insurrections occurring on American streets, but asked too many questions, and we order in the troops. America was based on an idea that government can't run our lives like it is our God. Throughout my entire political career, though, I have shit all over this idea, yet I am here lecturing you to not bet against America. America was a great idea, but we can't bring back that idea. I say the State of the Union is strong, but the president is a dementia patient, and Congress, the courts, and Hollywood are controlled by literal child molesters. Speaking of which, I do miss Epstein Island. Sure, I have other secret places I go for that, but there is a certain nostalgia about the place. It is a shame he got caught and had to be Clintoned. Believe it or not, my pants have even more shit in them than my mouth, so I have to call this a night and get another diaper change. People.